And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquapa, and welcome to another round of the Conscious Roster Report here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. My name is Keity Wado, aka the Conscious Roster. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, 8 p.m. BST, 5 p.m. BST, and 8 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Thursday, the 18th, the 17th of July, 2025 in the Gregorian or Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we have realigned our cultural clock. Today, we are going to, once again, we're going to bend time. We're going to step out of the sequence of chronological time, and we're going to do the best we can to take you to the future. The past is prologue, and the past and present are prologue to the future. The past and present are prologue to the future. So I think you can obviously see that I'm coming from the point that we as a species, as human species, we have some serious reckoning to do. And the reckoning that we will have to do will not be pleasant. It will be a painful reckoning, but we will get through it. We will get through it. Let's go into the introduction to today's program. The past and present are prologue to the future. Or prelude, not prologue. The past and present are prelude to the future. Today on LIB Radio, the past and present are prelude to the future, explores timeless connections between yesterday's lessons and today's turning points. This future thinking podcast uncovers how cultural, political, and technological shifts shape our destiny, offering listeners bold insights and inspiring perspectives to navigate what's next. Tune in and transform. Tune in and transform. The phrase, the past and present are prelude to the future. I'm going to get it right. Reflects the idea that history and current events set the stage for what is to come. This concept is often linked to the Shakespearean quote, "What is past is prologue," unquote, which suggests that the past provides the context for the present and influences the future. The idea is widely used in various fields, including history, finance, game theory, and personal development, to emphasize the importance of learning from the past and understanding the present to shape the future. So you and I were in this discussion today. There is a lot to the discussion. And we're going to do the best we can to take a 400-year, 4th-century leap into the future. Of course, I've already come back 4,240 years from the future to talk to you today. But we're going to take you through the next 400 years to the best of our abilities. What is past is prologue. What is past is prologue, a Shakespearean quote from The Tempest that highlights how history sets the context for the present and influences the future. Financial decision making. In investing, the phrase is used to caution against recency bias, where recent events are given undue weight in predicting future outcomes. Instead, longer historical trends are considered to make more informed decisions. Point three, personal development. This concept is often used to encourage individuals to learn from their past experiences and use them as a foundation for shaping their future. In the context of historical interpretation, the past is prologue to the present, prologue, the Shakespearean quote. In historical interpretation, the phrase is also used in historical context to emphasize that understanding the past is essential for making sense of the present and preparing for the future. So right now we are going to take a little deviation here and we're going to put up onto the screen a very brief, now bear with me while I find it. I know it's up here on my screen. Let's go over here to StreamYard. I should have put it up before we went on the air, but that's okay. We're going to get it. I have it right here. And this is an article entitled "The Future of Humanity. AI predicts 400 years in 3 minutes." So that's what we're going to share right now. I'm going to post this up, and it is up on YouTube, and it's going to show a commercial. Let me get rid of the commercial and bear with me. This is well worth waiting on. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at this video. This is from YouTube today, and it is entitled "The Future of Humanity. AI predicts the next 400 years into the future." Here is the video. Let's listen. Bear with me 1 second. I have to remember to put it up into the window that we're viewing right now. Where are you at? Here we go. Put it into the window. Add to the stage is what it says. So I added it to the stage. Let's play this video from the beginning.
Tasked with designing 400 years into the future, two Arcadians set out on a mission to both warn humanity of the dangers of the current climate conditions and show our species its great potential should we work together. And so we begin, known to the Arcadians as the Reckoning, in the year 2040, where society's efforts to push initiatives and agendas of sustainability failed due to humanity's obsession with over-consumerism. Next, we have the dystopian era, taking place in the year 2070, where the living conditions are inconceivably depressing, unhygienic, and inhumane. Also, with the sheer mismanagement of waste dumping around our beloved planet in space, leading world governments to assemble the people of the nations. After much trial and tribulation, we move on to the year 2100, the retreat, devised as a plan for the rest and recovery of our natural world. In the year 2100, humanity looks to live away from the surface for 50 years. And so a new chapter begins with the return, the year 2200. And upon returning to the surface, humanity finds that the plan to allow nature to once again flourish worked outstandingly, with all the greatest scientists, pioneers, futurists, and imagineers devising methods of evolving the current society's technology and architecture around transbotanism. And with efforts of prosperity, humanity begins rebuilding with nature in the year 2250. The Imagineers and visionaries of today in 2250 used biomimetic 4D printing in order to grow architecture, all from natural matter, artificially reproduced and edited for our needs, and once again assemble harmonious routine life into local neighborhoods. And just when our technological development peaked as we thought, in comes the new frontier of what we consider to be the nature of life itself. We've finally done it. The singularity is here. Humans have merged with AI and uploaded themselves to the digital realm, leaving behind all manners of physicality, therefore solidifying our position like one is fixated challenge. To you by Arcadia Foundry's design team. Thank you for watching.
Imagine being able to
All
build
right, let me
anything
just
just by
pause that video and take that down off the screen. That was interesting. I hope you do agree. I don't necessarily think that it was accurate to my taste, but then again, it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is that we are thinking, and that author was thinking about the future. So we're going to do the best we can today to think about the past, the present, and the future. The past has led us to where we are inside of America, inside of my lifetime. I have lived nearly 70 years completed outside my mother's womb. Those years inside of her womb, I was here and I experienced life through her hormones. So we have this experience. And from my experience, I grew up into the most prosperous nation in the world as a member of the despised race within the most prosperous nation. So our family in early life was quite deprived. Fortunately, my father had a good science-based job and took his family to the countryside, built a home, and we were raised in what would be termed Black middle class luxury. I grew up in that environment, went out into the world, saw so many technological changes occur. I did witness criminal acts of the most despicable order, lies that have lasted for 70 years, and a society built upon lies. Just in the presidency of Lyndon Johnson, I witnessed the assassination of Malcolm X, the assassination of John Kennedy was the first, of course, the assassination of Martin King, Malcolm X, the assassination of Medgar Evers, the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, the assassination of Bobby Kennedy. All of these fundamentally changed the destiny that I would learn and live. And then I grew up in the era of moving into the digitization of everything. First, there were the computers, the portable computers. First, there were the mainframes, which I never touched. And then the portable computers. I grew up in the era of the space race. I grew up in the era where America itself was the most powerful entity on the planet, but it was at borrowed. It was all borrowed. It was all on loan. And America borrowed and borrowed and borrowed and created a system for borrowing, seemed like to the infinite level, the petrodollar, etc., which was all based upon the debt-based system. So now the richest country in the world owes more money than anybody. It is unsustainable. And we've seen this unsustainable hit the wall, bounce off the wall several times. 2008, unsustainability bounced off the wall with the housing development, and it's pumping up again to do it again. We saw food grow from being homegrown food, at my home at least, to now we see food is artificial. It's been messed with so often, so many times. And so now we see that food, highly processed, or these artificial ingredients, it's not worth consuming. And so now the very essence of life, food, has now become an instrument of our destruction. And it is moving ever forward, ever faster. The MAGA people are make America great again. Well, it's impossible. It's impossible. And so everything they are doing is speeding up this next phase of humanity. And that's, let's go back to my notes. We're going to go through these up and coming features of humanity. AI predicts 400 years into the future. I use my own AI search and not two fantasy figures that were used in the previous video to step us through this. The future of humanity, as predicted by artificial intelligence, envisions a 400-year timeline, starting with the challenges like overconsumption and climate change, followed by a period of retreat, technological advancements, and eventual integration with AI. These predictions highlight both potential dangers and opportunities for human evolution and social transformation. Number one, the reckoning, beginning 2040, a critical point where sustainability efforts fail due to overconsumption, leading to environmental and social decline. Sustainability fails due to consumerism. The assertion that sustainability efforts fail due to overconsumption, leading to environmental and social decline, is supported by various analyses and reports, highlighting the detrimental effects of excessive consumption on the planet and society. Overconsumption drives environmental degradation through resource extraction, pollution, and waste, while also exacerbating social inequalities. The pressure to constantly consume is driving destructive resource extraction, pollution, and waste, and contributing to the climate and extinction crises. Next on the list, environmental degradation. Overconsumption leads to significant environmental harm, including the emission of greenhouse gases, pollution, and the depletion of natural resources. The average product results in carbon emissions of 6.3 times its own weight. Let me repeat that. The average product results in carbon emissions of 6.3 times its own weight, according to a study by Christoph Meinrinken. That's his name, Meinrinken. The extraction of resources to create goods and the disposal of used products contribute to environmental problems, with waste often ending up in landfills that emit methane and other greenhouse gases. Social inequality. Here, bear with me. Social inequality. Number three, The pursuit of consumer goods for social status can lead to increased inequality. And those who cannot afford to keep up with consumption trends may feel marginalized. This can result in social tensions and a sense of inadequacy among individuals who are unable to meet the societal standards of consumption. Economic impact. Economic growth is closely linked to increases in production, consumption, and resource use, which have detrimental effects on the natural environment and human health. It is unlikely that a long-lasting absolute decoupling of economic growth from environmental pressures can be achieved at the global scale. Now, this is a very important fact for us to consider. Let's just unpack this for a second. That GDP growth has been expected to be perpetual, that the world would always grow. But that also requires expansion. And there are more and more people on the planet every day. And as the decades go by, those people who at the poorest level plan on rising up, while those people at the highest level are planning on keeping the disparate position, keeping the distance between themselves and the lower economic classes. At the same time, the people at the bottom are increasing their numbers at a much higher rate than the people at the top, who are actually beginning to decline in their numbers. So the pressures are coming from the bottom and the top simultaneously. And all of this ties into consumption levels and economic growth. The people at the bottom have access to social media, and they see the people at the top flossing and flaunting their wealth. And so therefore, the people at the bottom have a tendency to want to get that same wealth. If there is in the world a zero-sum game to some extent, a zero-sum game. Now, I don't know how many of you understand what I'm talking about today, but I am considering either taking or teaching a course, a university level course. It's designed after a similar course taught at Johns Hopkins University. It is a master's level course in game theory. Now, as I beginning to construct this course, I may just put the course out as a book, although I'm considering, though, teaching the course, because I think that ultimately, if I put it out as a book, very few people will read the book. Very few. If I teach it as a course, people will not only require the book to take the course, but also I think that I can excite our people, African people around the world. I can excite our people to move on this thing called game theory. Now, I was earlier talking about zero-sum games. That's one of the courses, or one of the subtopics I will teach within this course of game theory. And a zero-sum game essentially means that in a zero-sum game, one side wins at the expense of the other players in the game. One player wins while other players lose. Now, in a zero-sum game, it could be that 2 or 3 players win, but the majority of the winnings, all of the winnings, will be taken from those who are losing in the game. What do you think? Would you be interested in game theory? I'm asking you right now. If you would be interested in it, you have to let me know. If not, don't say a word. I probably will go ahead and study it for myself. I probably will write the book, Game Theory for Masters of the Future. Let's think about it. I started outlining the course yesterday, and I said to myself after putting the outline together, wow, this is going to be a very tough course. So if you are an academic lightweight, if you don't want to spend time reading and understanding things that you currently know very little about, then most likely you will have to either bypass this course or catch it a little bit later. Read the book and then start. I'm serious. We're serious people. Let's go forward. We are talking today about the past and present, or prologue to the future. Let's go deeper into the conversation. We are up to number 5 of moving into the future. Number 5, sustainability strategies. There is a growing recognition that sustainable efforts must focus on reducing consumption and promoting a circular economy. That is almost tapping into the zero-sum game theory. The circular economy means that the future player in the game does not take away from contemporary players in the game. That's not right. This pretends that the consumers today, the rich, the wealthy today, will not be taking away from consumers in the future. That's what I meant to say. Sustainability strategies. There's a growing recognition that sustainability efforts must focus on reducing consumption and promoting a circular economy. The best way to achieve environmental sustainability is to develop a circular economy with services and products that have the least possible impact on the environment. However, there is a need to balance this with economic realities of both developed and developing nations. As economic well-being is a top issue in political campaigns, and consumer demand for goods and services is a fundamental aspect of modern society. Next, we're looking at the future. The next era we are looking at begins in 2070, the dystopian era. Dystopian era characterized by poor living conditions, unhygienic environments, and mismanagement of waste, prompting global action. Let's unpack this a little bit. Now, I have a bunch of these documents already pulled to the side, but I don't see them right now. Bear with me. Let me see if I can find where did I put them. And I know they're up somewhere on my desktop. Oh, here they are in Brave, the dystopian era. And what I am going to do here is open up a new tab and type in describe the dystopian era. And let's go into the dystopian era from 2070. The dystopian era of 2070 is characterized by severe living conditions, unhygienic environments, and widespread waste management, which have led to significant environmental and health crises. The issues have prompted global efforts to address the deteriorating state of urban and rural environments, as well as the urgent need for sustainable waste management solutions. The situation has been exacerbated by the failure of existing systems to cope with the increasing volume of waste, leading to pollution, disease outbreaks, and a decline in overall quality of life. Here are some of the characteristics of the dystopian era. And 1 second, I just want to copy this, paste this here, boom, and let's continue. Here are some of the characteristics of the dystopian era. Number one, poor living conditions. The dystopian era is marked by overcrowded cities, inadequate housing, and a lack of basic services such as clean water and sanitation. These conditions have been worsened by the inability of governments to provide essential infrastructure, leading to a decline in public health and an increase in disease transmission. Point two, unhygienic environments. The lack of proper waste management has resulted in the accumulation of garbage in urban and rural areas, creating breeding grounds for pests and pathogens. This has led to the spread of waterborne and airborne diseases, further straining healthcare systems. Next point, the mismanagement of waste. The dystopian era of 2070 is defined by the failure of waste management systems, with large amounts of waste being dumped in open spaces, water bodies, and unregulated landfills. This has led to severe environment contamination, including soil and water pollution, and has had a detrimental impact on ecosystems and human health. Next, global action. In response to the crises of the dystopian era of 2070, global efforts have been initiated to improve waste management practices, promote sustainable development, and address the root causes of poverty and environmental degradation. These efforts include international cooperation, investment in waste management infrastructure, and the implementation of policies to reduce waste generation and promote recycling. This is all very, very important. And that takes us to the next era in the next 400 years. And unfortunately, this next era is called the retreat. The retreat. Let's talk about the retreat. I'm searching for it. The retreat, a 50-year plan initiated in 2100 for humanity to live away from the Earth's surface to allow nature to recover and rejuvenate. This strategic initiative is a response to the environmental degradation observed in earlier decades, aiming to restore the planet's natural systems. The plan envisions a temporary relocation of human population to non-surface habitats, such as orbital stations or underground cities, to give the Earth time to heal from the impacts of over-consumerism and pollution. By 2200, humanity is expected to return to a flourishing natural world ready to build in harmony with nature. And bear with me while I copy, cut, and paste that. Here we go. And the next part here is nature flourishing, 2200. Upon returning to the surface, humanity finds a restored natural world with scientists and futurists developing methods to integrate technology and nature. The integration of technology and nature has become a focal point in recent discussions on sustainable development, particularly highlighted by events such as the Rooting Deeper Festival and innovations like biodegradable sensors and solar energy systems. These efforts aim to foster a deeper connection with nature while leveraging technological advancements to address environmental challenges. For instance, the use of drones in reforestation and monitoring deforestation showcases how technology can aid in environmental conservation, while biodegradable sensors offer a solution to electronic waste, promoting a cleaner world. Additionally, the Rooting Deeper Festival in the Netherlands emphasizes the importance of agroecology, a practice that initiates ecological principles into agriculture, thereby enhancing biodiversity and sustainability. This festival not only provided educational excursions to local agroecological initiatives, but also featured interactive workshops and musical performances that highlighted the cultural and spiritual connections to nature. Moreover, the Flourishing Retreat at Wake Forest University aimed to reconnect students with nature through activities like forest bathing and personal gratitude rituals, illustrating the psychological benefits of engaging with the natural world. This retreat underscores the importance of integrating nature into daily life, which can lead to a more purposeful and kinder approach to both personal and professional endeavors. In summary, the integration of nature, of technology and nature post-retreat is evident through various initiatives that not only promote environmental sustainability, but also enhance personal well-being and community engagement. These efforts reflect a growing trend toward harmonizing technological advancements with ecological stewardship to ensure a sustainable future. And all of that is so well and good. Let me copy that. That is really good stuff. Nature flourishing. Going forward, where are we at? Where are we at? Behind that at, my dad would say. 5, biomimetic 4D printing. This expected to be achieved in 2250. Architecture is grown from natural matter, creating harmonious local neighborhoods and a new era of technological integration. So this really is building, everything is building upon what is we've been previously developed and left with. So let's take this to the next question, and let's get a little deeper into biometric 4D printing. And also, let me just say this much. 4D printing, 3D printing, these are the type of things we need to be training our youth to perfect these technologies as soon as possible. We need to really start this right now. We do. Why? Well, let me explain it. Biometric 4D printing in architecture represents a cutting-edge technological integration that draws inspiration from natural matter to create dynamic, adaptive structures. These are the Kuchichagalia houses. This is what we aim to be building, these houses, using pressed earth, packed earth. This approach leverages the principles of biomimicry, where architectural designs are informed by the morphological traits, structural principles, and functional mechanisms of living organisms. The thought that came to mind is fractals. to enhance the aesthetic and functional aspects of buildings and urban neighborhoods. One of the key features of biometric 4D printing is its ability to produce structures that can change shape or adapt over time in response to environmental stimuli. Now, this is mimicking biology. For instance, a composite of hydrogel architectures inspired by nascent plant motions can dynamically change shape upon immersion in water, yielding complex three-dimensional morphologies. This capability opens up new possibilities for creating responsive and sustainable architectural solutions that can adapt to changing environmental conditions. In the context of urban neighborhoods, the integration of biomimetic 4D printing can lead to the development of more resilient and adaptable infrastructures. By incorporating materials and designs that mimic the properties of natural systems, architects and urban planners can create buildings and public spaces that are not only visually striking, but also more efficient in terms of energy use and environmental impact. For instance, the use of plant-inspired designs can help in optimizing the use of resources such as water and sunlight, thereby enhancing the sustainability of urban environments. Moreover, the interdisciplinary potential of biomimetic design extends beyond aesthetics and functionality, contributing to the social and cultural significance of architectural works. By combining form, simulation, function optimization, and ecological awareness, biomimetic design can elevate the aesthetic value, visual impact, and emotional resonance of design works, while also amplifying their social role and cultural significance. However, the application of biomimetic 4D printing in architecture is still in its early stages, and there are challenges to be addressed, including the need for advanced materials and fabrication techniques, as well as the integration of these technologies into existing construction practices. Despite these challenges, the potential benefits of biomimetic 4D printing in creating more sustainable and adaptive urban environments make it an exciting era of research and development. In summary, biomimetic 4D printing in architecture is a promising field that combines the principles of biomimicry with advanced manufacturing technologies to create innovative, adaptive, and sustainable structures. As this technology continues to evolve, it has the potential to transform the way we design and build our urban neighborhoods, making them more resilient and in harmony with nature. And again, that's future. We are now, where in the future are we? We are at 2250, biomimetic 4D printing. Let's go even further. The next phase of the future is one we have been talking about a lot and appears to be rather frightening on the surface. And it is this term was created by Ray Kurzweil, and it deals with the singularity. Humans merge with AI, transitioning to a digital existence, marking humanity's position as a type 1 civilization. The concept of the technological singularity refers to a hypothetical point in time when artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence, leading to unprecedented changes in civilization. Futurist Ray Kurzweil predicted the event will occur around 2045. According to this timeline, I'm over here. It's going to be after 2250. At which point humans and machines will merge, ushering in a new era of digital existence. This transition aligns with the idea of moving toward a type 1 civilization on the Kardashev scale, where humanity could be capable of harnessing all planetary energy, significantly advancing technological and societal development. Key aspects of this transition include, one second, let me copy, cut, and paste this. Key aspects of this transition include point, human AI merger through brain-computer interfaces and AI augmentation. Human cognitive abilities will be enhanced, enabling seamless communication with machines and access to vast knowledge depositories. Number 2, digital immortality. Kurzweil suggests that by the 2040s, it may be possible to back up human consciousness digitally, allowing for extended or even indefinite digital existence. Point 3, exponential technological growth. The law of accelerating returns posits that technological progress, particularly in computing power and AI, follows an exponential curve, leading to rapid advancements that will drive the singularity. The next point, civilization transformation. The merging of AI and human intelligence could lead to solutions for global challenges such as disease, climate change, and resource scarcity, marking a significant evolutionary leap for humanity. While some envision a utopian future of enhanced intelligence and longevity, concerns exist regarding loss of autonomy, ethical dilemmas, and potential existential risks if AI systems develop goals misaligned with human values. The transition to a type 1 civilization would not only signify not only technological maturity, but also a shift in human consciousness and societal structure, with AI playing a central role in shaping the future of human evolution. And bear with me, y'all. I hope I'm not exhausting you. This is a little exhausting for me right now. I find it exciting. Ed Mack is in the house. He says, great day. Good day to you, Ed. Great to have you in the house. As we are today talking about the future, and a future where the singularity has become dominant in many of our lives. And this future is, of course, according to Ray Kurzweil, is 20 years away. But according to our predictions, myself, along with the AI bot I use today to get these predictions for the next 400 years, it is about the year 2300 that we will reach the singularity. And I'm not planning on being around then. Here we go. Let's keep going. But I am doing the best that I can to prepare our people to survive and to thrive at that point. I'm serious about that. Whoever is around, we gotta be here. We were here in the beginning. We shall be here in the next phase. Ed Mack says as far back as the 1960s, with the show Star Trek, they had the Borg. But could this be a repeat? It seems that Black Cube suggests human have been combined with machine before. The Black Cube suggests humans have been combined with machine before. Hmm, that's very interesting. You say that. And yeah, like yourself, I do recall Star Trek. Of course, Star Trek was they did the best they could to predict the future. And I'm not going to take anything away from them. It was fascinating, but now we realize Star Trek still perpetuated misogyny. It still um, perpetuated racism, only this time it's space races, et cetera, et cetera. And it still perpetuated the concept of competition and warfare. So maybe we can, or maybe we won't ever get past that. Next, we're talking about technological singularity, a point where AI becomes so advanced that it triggers rapid, uncontrollable changes to human civilization, raising questions about the future of life, society, and reality. Now, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to copy, cut, and paste this link that I have here to technological singularity. Paste that in one, two, because I did think this article was very important and worthy of reading into. So let's do that right now. Technological singularity, where is you is, there is. And let's read from that document. Where is it here? Technological singularity. And technological singularity. This comes to us from Wikipedia. The singularity, the technological singularity, or simply the singularity, is a hypothetical point and in time at which the technological growth becomes completely alien to humans, uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable consequences for human civilization. According to the most popular version of the singularity hypothesis, I.J. Good's intelligence explosion model of 1965, an upgradable intelligence agent could eventually enter a positive feedback loop of successive self-improvement cycles. More intelligent generations would appear more and more rapidly, causing a rapid explosion in intelligence culminates in a powerful super intelligence far surpassing all human intelligence. Some scientists, including Stephen Hawking, have expressed concern that artificial super intelligence could result in human extinction. The consequences of a technological singularity and its potential benefit or harm to the human race have been intensely debated. Prominent technologists and academics dispute the plausibility of a technological singularity and associated artificial intelligence explosion, including Paul Allen, Jeff Hawkins, and bear with me, come back. Jeff Hawkins, John Holland, Jaron Lanier, Steven Pinker, Theodore Modis, Gordon Moore, and Roger Penrose. Again, prominent technologists and academics dispute the plausibility of a technological singularity and associated artificial intelligence explosion, including the aforementioned. One claim is that artificial intelligence growth is likely to run into decreasing returns instead of accelerating ones. Stuart J. Russell and Peter Norvig observed that in the history of technology, improvement in a particular area tends to follow an S curve. It begins with accelerating improvement, then levels off without continuing upward into a hyperbolic singularity. Considering, for example, the history of transportation, which experienced exponential improvement from 1820 to 1970, then abruptly leveled off. Predictions based on continued exponential improvement, example given interplanetary travel by 2000, proved false. Of course, looking at the development of transportation from 2000 to present, I would say that S curve is back on an upgrade or uphill curve. History. We're talking about the technological singularity. Here's the history. Alan Turing, often regarded as the father of modern computer science, laid a crucial founding for contemporary discourse on the technological singularity. His pivotal 1950 paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence, argued that a machine could, in theory, exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to or indistinguishable from that of a human. The Hungarian-American mathematician John von Neumann is the first known person to discuss a coming singularity in technological progress. Stanislaw Ulam reported in 1958 that earlier discussion with von Neumann centered on the accelerating process of technology and changes in human life, which gives the appearance of approaching some essential singularity in the history of the race beyond which human affairs as we know them could not continue. Subsequent authors have echoed his viewpoint. In 1965, I.J. Good speculated that superhuman intelligence might bring about an intelligence explosion, writing, quote, let an ultra intelligent machine be defined as a machine that can far surpass all the intellectual activities of any man, however clever. Since the design of machines is one of these intellectual activities, an ultra intelligent machine could design even better machines. There would then unquestionably be an intelligence explosion, and the intelligence of man would be left far behind. Thus, the first ultra intelligent machine is the last invention that man need ever make, provided that the machine is docile enough to tell us how to keep it under control. That from speculations concerning the first ultra intelligent machine from 1965. The concept and the term singularity were popularized by Werner Ving, first in 1983 in an article that claimed that once humans create intelligence greater than our own, there will be a technological and social transition similar in some sense to the knotted space-time at the center of a black hole. And then in his 1993 essay, The Coming Technological Singularity, in which he wrote that it would signal the end of the human era as the new super intelligence would continue to upgrade itself and advance technologically at an incomprehensible rate. And he would be surprised if it occurred before 2005 or after 2030. Of course, now we have hindsight to see that that prediction was way off. Another significant contribution to wider circulation of the notion was Ray Kurzweil's 2005 book, The Singularity is Near, Predicting Singularity by 2045. Hey, listen. We have come a long way, and we have a long way to go. The past and present are a prelude to the future. We've talked about this in a number of ways. I think ultimately it is culture and civilization that become our key defining parameters and principles about what this future that we envision is going to bring. I put as much research on the table today as I could put on the table. And to the best of our abilities, we are going to continue to develop it all towards its ultimate destiny. That's why you tune in today to Tech and Future Talk here on libradio.com. And that is why, absolutely why, we aim to be your favorite radio station. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm a little exhausted from reading all of that. It was a lot. But reading that at the level of difficulty that it becomes to follow along with it, for me, is exercising my intellectual capabilities. I do encourage all of us to read to the best of our abilities. In fact, I have 5 of my books here up on the table. 5 of my books I have are: one, this is scientific futurism. This is scientific futurism written by my brother from the future, Nam de Plume. I am Ka, writing from 4,240 years in the future. I come back and I deliver this book to you. This is scientific futurism. Another one very important to what we're talking about today is the African future. The African future. And this one, which the chroma key does not like the title. Oh, it's green. This is the African future by Kidi Obiawadu. And it's not going to show the cover, so that is what it is. It is this one, very important futures book. We are at the crux right now. We are transitioning an era right now. This era of hyper consumerism and exploitation is going to violently erupt very soon, if not already. Disaster preparedness for World Wars 5 and 6. And don't think that world wars don't occur simultaneously. They do. We are currently in World War IV, and parts of World War III still have not quit yet, even though the nuclear explosions have stopped. And there were over 2,000 nuclear explosions during World War III. But we are in World Wars III and IV, moving into World Wars 5 and 6. This book is very important. Quantum advancement. If you want to advance past all of this chaos, this ISFAT period in human civilization, go with quantum advancement. I love this book. I love the idea of quantum advancement. But you know something? We're going to have to go get it. We're going to have to create it on the side, put walls up around what we create so we can develop our Wakanda future behind these walls. And one more book we're talking about, the future of medicine is regenerative. Regenerate, rebuild your brain, your cells, your neurological system, rebuild your hippocampus, your liver, your pancreas, rebuild it. Regenerative medicine is the future stem cell revolution. Holistic approach to stem cell activation and regenerative therapy. So, will you buy a book today? Did you buy a book yesterday? No. Will you buy one tomorrow? Buy a book today. I encourage such activity. It is, of course, how I live, and I do want to live. So I encourage you. I encourage you to get the books that I have written Keedy.biz/CRP Conscious Master Press 2012. That's going to be able to get you into my catalog. You'll be able to get the books. Come on, people, don't be shy. Don't leave your brother stranded. Please don't. Please don't. I know what you're going through. You're going through tough times because I'm witnessing it as well. I have long known that my career is a canary in the mine, and how I do is indicative of how we have been doing. The thing about it is what I think is so positive about what I do is that I document my experiences and I write the books. I heard someone today talk about he's been writing on a book for 13 years or so, long time writing on this book. Well, I solved that problem and I wrote a book for me and for everyone else called How to Write and Publish Your Book in 90 Days. How to Write and Publish Your Book in 90 Days. And to prove the book worked, I wrote and I published 6 books in that 90-day period. 6 books in 90 days. And the books are quality books. You know, recently, since December, I published 8 books in a row. And as of yesterday, right now, I'm considering writing another book called Game Theory for a master's level student. And I'm outlining a course right now. I want to teach this course. It'll be a 2-semester long course on game theory. So on that note, I'm going to wrap up for today. I do have another meeting in 45 minutes. And we're going to do the best we can to do the very best that we can. We're going to do better. I took you through the future scenarios for the next 400 years. And let me tell you, yes, it is quite frightening. We're going to get through it. At least you and I are. To the point where we're going to live our extended lifespan and then do everything we can to keep our people moving forward into the future. I want to thank you all for tuning in to LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblank.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends. We have our own now, and we aim to do great things with what we have. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you on your favorite LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com.